3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? We have everything. Is the mic? We got the right mic plugged in here. Let's make sure. Hang on. I was rushing like crazy on this one. I had to get everything prepared. Wife got home a little late. I cooked dinner for the kiddos, and I had to rush in here and try to get this thing going. So how you guys doing, huh? Going with water tonight. Won't be the case tomorrow night, hopefully. If all goes according to plan, tomorrow night we're gonna have Thanksgiving with the neighbors tomorrow after the game. Around that time, towards the end of the game, we're gonna have our Friendsgiving. And maybe we're gonna have a little after Thanksgiving party. I don't know. I'm trying to talk them into it. Crix is the guy on Discord who's, he's probably like, don't say that. Don't tell him who I am. But trying to talk him into it. Like, hey, we went in heavy last weekend, not going to lie. We have a fence table that we built. So, like, the fence folds over and it's a table. It's pretty awesome. And we've been out there a few times. We played games. We play, like, Cards Against Humanity. We eat. We always eat the best food, too, when we hang out. Good people. It's always awesome to have great neighbors, and we have great neighbors. We also played Trigger Warning, and I know we're going to get to the Razorback stuff here in just a second. Yeah, by the way, like the video. That goes a long ways when you like. We'll have 100 people in here and like 10 likes on the video. Come on now, let's bump the likes up, guys. Help me out a little bit. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out all the links. Patreon supporters. We had 2 new Patreon supporters this week. Jenna Mays was one of them. That was awesome. Shout out to her. And Thomas Nunley was the other. Thomas Nunley and Jenna Mays are the 2 newest Patreon supporters. So if you guys want to take part in that link is provided for. I think a light bulb's about to go out in here. Last week we were streaming and the lights just went out. And I really thought I lost the feed here and I didn't. So there's a lot to cover. I want to show you guys something though. I hope some of you don't trigger easily, but we've been playing this game. Look, Cards Against Humanity goes both ways, right? It'll attack politically, left and right and center. And then my phone's making my speakers freak out. And then there's games like this. I highly recommend it. We played it last week with the neighbors. It's hilarious. It's called Virtue Signal. They are not a sponsor. It is hilarious. Virtue Signal. Check it out. I don't, there's no, again, I'm not sponsored. I don't mind, like, local businesses. I don't mind giving a shout out to local businesses around here. And, if I'm doing stuff, playing board games or video games or whatever, you hear me every once in a while talk about it. This was a riot. There's a lot of rules, but it's really not as complicated. I'll just say, if you have anyone in your family or any friends that trigger very easily, they may not want to play this game. But it is spectacular. I loved it. We've played it once, and look, we weren't exactly completely sober, and I picked it up. And we weren't, we had a few beverages. And you guys know I don't really drink that often. I'll crack open a beer here. Okay, we got a lot to talk about. This is actually a pretty loaded show. If you haven't listened to the latest Hog Talk podcast, that is available. We had a middle of the week podcast that was before the NBA draft. We know I'm not going to go real hard into what happened. I'm not shocked that Isaiah Joe went as far back as he went. I'm not shocked that Mason Jones went undrafted. Talking with a family friend of mine who is a diehard Razorback basketball fan, he thinks it's an embarrassment. Isaiah Joe was an easy first-round pick. Mason Jones should have gone in the late 30s, early 40s, so on and so forth. Again, I'm not going to go into all that. Mason Jones capped out. There was nothing to gain for him to come back. I don't blame him for leaving. You wonder now if he signed a free agency deal with the Mavs, right? Or was it the Spurs? We went over it in the Hog Talk. I think it was the Mavs. No. Who the hell did he sign with? Someone help me out in chat. Maybe Kyle's in chat. Maybe Kyle's taking a break from his OnlyFans website. I'm not shocked. Joe, kind of like what I said on the pod, for those of you who listened to it, he should have come back. I understand why he didn't come back. You remember when he made the decision to come back, like a week later, the Big Ten football conference and the Pac canceled their season at the time. Remember how stupid that was? And now look at them. You know, they have to delay, and the SEC got all this exclusive TV time. What a bunch of idiots. The Big Ten, you're a pack of morons. Just like the other pack out west, the Pac-12, 12 morons. I don't know why anybody was okay with that. Nebraska obviously fought that tooth and nail, and they were like, look, we're going to play people. And the Big Ten was like, no, you're not. And they're like, well, then we'll leave. You can't keep us here. There's no, as far as I know, there's no contract. There's no obligation that they have to stay within that conference. You know, the benefit is obviously the payout, but, you know, they wanted to play. And I love Nebraska for that. And I think Nebraska, and of course your higher-ups in the conference really wanted, they understood money moved things in the direction of making sure that the game was played. What a pack of idiots, though. So stupid. And, of course, they came back and like, oh, well, yeah, no, now we're going to play. Anyways, he decides to stay, and then you saw college football start to, well, no, hold on, we're going to have to change this whole thing. He panicked. I'm sure he had people in his ear, and he said, you know what, I'm not going to risk it. I had an injury towards the, a little bit past the halfway marker in the season. I could, who knows, re-aggravate that injury, and then also I could play a season and it just gets canceled. I don't know how that would have hurt him, though, because then you're on an even playing field, right? Like, because if you get canceled, well, when they canceled the SEC tournament, guess what? They canceled all of college basketball. So I understand why he went, but I also think, too, he had the wrong people in his ear. Joe should have come back. There's no doubt in my mind to have a full 100% healthy season, no matter how that looked. Anytime you get more film, it's going to benefit you. Joe, when healthy, what he did, teams had to completely change how they defended the Razorback or the Razorbacks when they had the ball. They had to completely change. It opened up the floor, and the NBA knows that. They're very well aware of his ability, his range. He stretches the court. And imagine if Arkansas could have rebounded better on the offensive end. Oh, my gosh. And he would have had that this year. There's so many arguments. It's like the same thing. I'm sitting here trying to debate Felipe Franks. Should he come back? There's so many benefits to him coming back next year. And it's the same thing with Isaiah Joe. You're going to have size underneath. You're going to get more second chance shots. You're going to open the floor up. You're surrounded with even better talent and size. There's all the reasons in the world to come back, and I think he would have benefited. I really do. I'm not going to sit here and say he would have been a for sure first-round pick, but I think his odds would have been higher. I think he definitely would have gone higher than where he went at pick number 49. Okay, I said I wasn't going to go too far into that, and I did. What do you know? I always break my promises to myself. I'm going to keep it 30 minutes, and then I go on for another 20 minutes. Yeah, it is what it is. I think these kids get the wrong people in their ears, and I'm sure he made that decision for himself as well. And Musselman supported him, the staff supported him, but he could have greatly benefited. Felipe Franks, it's the same thing. I sit here and I told you guys I don't think he comes back, but it's just, oh my gosh, what they're going to have coming back next year. Think of where they're at this year on the offensive side of the ball, how much better they've become since their bye week. The offense is starting to find its rhythm. Watch what they do this weekend, assuming he's, I know he's dealing with the non-throwing, his wrist. That's something to keep an eye on, how much that might affect him if someone – he takes a lot of hits. Our pass blocking is atrocious right now, and LSU can get after the quarterback, by the way. So you're going to keep an eye on that. And so you understand it's the same thing. He's dealt with injuries, right? My gosh, you're gonna have so much talent back next year on offense. It's gonna be year 2 because Kendall Browse, I think, I'm 90% positive he comes back, just like I am with Barry Odom. You're just gonna be better. I don't have to tell you guys. You already know this, right? Burks, you're gonna have Burks back. You're gonna have Woods back. Devion Warren has the option to come back. I don't know. He tore his ACL. God only knows if he comes back as the same player. Okay, let's go down the well, actually, let me say hi to you guys first in chat. Woo Pig Sui, Anthony White, Mr. Cobra 45 says, I just said to myself, I wonder if Ty is live. Yeah, my goal used to be 5:30, and it's just like I've said before. I know it kills me. It kills me on viewership and everything when I go later and I don't give you guys more of a heads up. But things in the Hudson house just are kind of unplanned. I mean, in a way, I don't want to say it's chaotic, but it is like, the missus gets home a little late. Well, now all the responsibility is on me to get everything done with the kids, with eating dinner and everything. But thanks for being here, Cobra. Woo Pixui, let's get the boot, says Alex. Alex H says, let's get the boot from Cleveland, Ohio. What's up all the way up in Ohio? What's up, man? Anthony White, any word on who's going to be out on Saturday? Yeah. The belief now is that there's some defensive linemen that are not going to play. And Rakeem Boyd was the other one, but it may be non-COVID related with Rakeem Boyd. This is what I hate about. This is what I absolutely hate about COVID. Like, I can't sit here and tell you what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. There's not a lot of information out there. According to Sam Pittman, so the game is on. We all know that. The game is on, baby. But according to him, and maybe it's a little bit of theater, I don't know, but Arkansas is thin. He said, we're thin. And obviously he didn't really go beyond that. If he's talking about the defensive line, Dorian Gerald was a name that I had been told that was going to miss. I'm telling you, that guy needs to come back. And I would love to see Dorian Gerald just have one clear year, no injuries, just having – because I really think he could be a difference maker or at least a playmaker. Remember, to me, difference maker is like that's first, second-round talent, first maybe through third-round talent. He's at least a playmaker when he's healthy. So it's all – hearsay, rumors. I have no idea who's going to take the field tomorrow. I really don't. And this, too, was and I said this in a couple other games this year, this is the hardest game to predict. I want to start doing confidence points with the Hog Talk. Like, how confident are you in your prediction? Kind of like what 247 does with their crystal ball predictions, right? I'm like at a 1. I really have no idea how tomorrow pans out because we don't know who's hurt. Burks he practiced all week. Burks is fine. Felipe Franks is fine. Mo Brown I've heard he practiced. Hudson, Fouché, Catalan. Like, your defense is fine up until the front four or your defensive line, and that's concerning. We've heard Jonathan Marshall's fine, and that's like really. I mean, but think about the rotation, the depth. You're already concerned with your depth up front, right? With your front seven, mostly because of your linebackers, and so linebackers, the top half of the linebacker depth chart has been phenomenal. Morgan and Poole have been excellent, but it's been like this defensive line. They don't get sacks. Jonathan Marshall can certainly push a guy into the play. He can muscle his way into the backfield, but he's not racking up sacks. Nobody's racking up sacks. Gregory is someone to keep an eye on. I'm really excited about his transformation, his time here. I think he could end up being a pretty spectacular player. So long story short, I don't know. We know Devion Warren's not going to be there. That's the one thing I'm 100% certain on. Not yet, Anthony, until we're not going to know anything really until tomorrow. I've heard Boyd and KJ. KJ was another name that I have heard, and some defensive linemen, says Eric Fountain. Yeah. My dad said KJ. Okay, so you guys, we're Franks is out, says Lucas Patty. I have not heard that. Not saying you're wrong, but I've not heard that. That is not something I've been told. In fact, I heard that he practiced, but they're keeping an eye on his wrist, so I don't think that's true. If Franks was out, we would probably know by now. But again, anything's possible. I'm telling you guys, with the koof, you just never know, man. But I'll tell you this much: I've not heard that. I'm gonna wait until the morning to find out for sure. That's what I would do. I would wait until 10:30 a.m. to know for sure. Howdy, Ty, and fellow Hog fans. What's up, Scott? How you doing, brother? How you doing, brother? Malik Time says, Mr. Cobra. Be careful what you wish for. Howdy, Ty. What it be, Ty? What's up, Thomas? Most recent Patreon supporter. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Jenna, Lucas, hey, Boomer, don't come in here and stir our gravy with that stuff. Unless it's true. I'm watching Ty on my phone and TV. Is that weird? Who was it? I don't know if they're still in chat. I had someone one time, I was live streaming a post-game show, and no, it wasn't a post-game because it was, well, maybe it was. Maybe it was like a basketball game or something, midweek game. Anyways, I went live, and someone was like, I've got you in my office with some people are in the office with me, and I've got you on the big screen in the office, and then you started dropping some swear words, and they slowly piled out one by one or something. Sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. But I'm not really because, I mean, you guys know. Like, maybe I should put a warning label on my, kind of like what you see down below with the Join PT and Patreon. Maybe I should put like a parental advisory sticker or something on my screen somewhere. But thank you. I appreciate that, man. Tim B. Hey to all you fellow Hog fans. I live in Arizona and flying to Fayetteville on Tuesday. Can't wait. Okay, Tim. Well, have a safe flight. Rockets. Okay, it was Houston. That's right. Okay, I was right. It was Houston. Or no, I said Dallas, didn't I? I said Dallas. I don't know why okay. I was listening to Joe Rogan and they were talking. They had mentioned Mason signed with the Rockets. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Joe drafted the 76ers. Yep. We talked about that. Big Ten and Pac-12 are the biggest dumbasses in the sports world. I wanted Nebraska to come to the SEC. I don't want him in the conference because that's like West Virginia joining the Big 12. Like, how stupid is that? That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. West Virginia should be in the ACC or even the SEC East. But yeah, no, I agree. They're stupid. Hogs are the SEC. Hogs are the only SEC team so far to not postpone or cancel for a game that I know of. Pretty sure they've got to be one of just a couple, right? LSU, if this game was canceled, this would have been number 3, so no guarantees that it would have been made up. Joe, when healthy, was the best decoy in the nation. If Joe got the ball on the three-point line in a double team was coming, and that center was always wide open. Imagine what he could do with size. Golly, man. Imagine what he could have done this year. He's the reason why Arkansas is not getting as much love and respect as Razorback fans want. And I'm not trying to say bad Joe. How dare you, Joe? How dare you take care of yourself? I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is he is the reason Razorbacks are not ranked. Him and Mason Jones leaving is the reason why they're not ranked. And that's there's no doubt in my mind, had Jones and Joe come back with this recruit, now you would have had to make room, and I get that, but no doubt in my mind, this team would have been ranked with Moody coming in with all the talent, with KK. Are you kidding? God. Desi Seals, by the way, made if you guys didn't know this, Desi Seals made second-team All-SEC. That was awesome. That's good for him. I do think Arkansas – look, and they were ranked. We didn't talk about that last week. They were ranked 6th. I don't know why people are complaining about that. You lost 80% of your scoring production from a year ago was gone. 75, 80% gone. You're coming in with true freshmen. Yeah, you had a great recruiting class. I agree. I get it, but I'm not gonna die on that hill of we got disrespected. Oh no, we weren't picked, in the top 3. I'm not dying on that hill. I'm okay with it. In fact, it's just more for them to, it's another chip on their shoulder. We got disrespected. It's time to show them what's up, kind of like what happened a year ago. But I agree, Celtics. He was a massive distraction. And if Joe came back, I could have seen him being close to a lottery pick. I'm not saying you're wrong. He was fun to watch. My favorite will always be Jimmy Witt. Jimmy, I love Jimmy. Jimmy he's just found a way with that mid-range too. Deadly. A lot of players played with injuries though. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, Bams. I'm sorry. Sup, Ty? Good to see you. Enjoying the colder weather and the apple chips in my smoker. Ooh, apple chips. What are you cooking there? What are you cooking? Looking forward to this game. Humma Kavulia. Let's see. Scrolling down. Nada just ready for tomorrow. Traylon Smith, if healthy, should start over Rakeem against LSU. This is not up for debate right now. Let's get the boot. Look, Rakeem Boyd, and this is we talk about it every single time we go live. It's not the same old Rakeem. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's something to do with his injury. I think he had surgery in the offseason or right after the regular season. I cannot for the life of me remember. He had shoulder surgery at some point. I don't know what his deal is. Maybe it's something to do with the offense. Right now, Treylon is your guy. Treylon should be RB1. And, I'm not going to say there's no debate. If Rakeem Boyd is 100%, there's a debate. He's just not been healthy. He's not been the guy. And it has hurt him. I fully believe he needs to come back next year. Oh, my God. Can you imagine, though, if he's healthy? You're going to bring in A.J. Green. Oh, my gosh. Rocket Sanders got his 4th star. Let's get to this. You guys are chatting up. You're doing good there. Let's get over here to the topics really quick. All right, Razorback football as it go. Defensive line being rumored. We kind of touched on this a little bit. Being rumored that they're thin up front, along with the possibility of Rakeem Boyd being out. So, again, I'm not entirely sure what's going on with Boyd as far as his availability for this game. Off subject really quick from Razorback football. Tennessee Athletic Director Philip Fulmer tested positive for the coof. He's got it. In all honesty, we take it serious. I take it serious. Hog Talk, we all take it serious. I'm just making light of it because it's like this thing. It's in the back of everyone's minds. Why not make fun of it and laugh at it a little bit? We need that. I did have someone email me a little while back, said that I shouldn't make light of it, and my response was, why not? Razorback football recruiting updates. 2022 4-star safety Isaac Thompson. Again, if you guys listen to the Hog Talk, you're aware of this. But Isaac Thompson, 4-star safety, visiting Fayetteville this weekend. He's going to make his decision on December 4th. We know there's a lot of stuff going on with Harbaugh in Michigan. Does he get fired before the end of the season? We've already seen Muschamp fired. He's out at South Carolina. Is Harbaugh next? If you talk to anyone up in Michigan, they'll tell you he should be. So you wonder how much. And I'm really surprised Isaac hasn't pushed this date back. He's got a long time. He's, again, 2022 kid. He's still expected. I think he's a lifelong Michigan fan, highly expected to sign with Michigan. Again, though, you like the fact that he's visiting, and with the Harbaugh being fired rumors kind of out there, there's a glimmer of hope. He's a big-time prospect. So there's a glimmer of hope. You're getting him to Fayetteville. Arkansas commit Rocket Sanders gains a big bump in recruiting rankings. He's now the 160th overall player in the nation, according to 247. And, he got that. He's now just a consensus 4-star. He's expected to play wideout at Arkansas. He's got the size and the frame at 6'2", 210. He could play almost any position on offense as far as, your skill position, running back, receiver. He's got pretty good hands from what I understand. Again, if you go look at his bio on 247, they tell you he's got to work on some things as far as running routes and getting separation from corners. He's got a little while. He's got some time to work on that. But he is expected. I say he's got time. He's maybe not. He is expected to sign during the early signing period. Right now, the NCAA is going to keep the early signing period. I think that's stupid, if you want my opinion, with the way they've handcuffed these coaches and extending the dead period for them for visitation for coaches to go into the homes of these players. I think it's stupid. They're allowing early signing periods. So dumb. I hate it anyways. But it's an advantage here because it looks like he could sign in December. But yeah, he's got the frame and the build to play safety, outside linebacker. He's pretty shifty. So I'm 90% positive Stepp is who's recruiting him. So I'm almost positive he ends up playing wideout. All right, Arkansas LSU. Let's talk about that. Arkansas LSU. I did pick Arkansas. I had gone back and forth on this because of several different reasons. Obviously, LSU hasn't played a down of football since the 31st of October. That's a long time. And they were asked, I think on Monday, they had kind of mentioned to Ed Orgeron about him talking about the Alabama week and also preparing for Arkansas. So there's no doubt in my mind, I don't think he ever planned on playing against Bama. Of course not. course not. He didn't want. We talked about this. He didn't want to get embarrassed. I think he was putting in extra prep time for Arkansas. That worries me. Again, like I said earlier, my confidence in my pick is like 1. I have no idea what's about to happen tomorrow at 11 a.m. I don't like the fact that it's 11 a.m. I wish it was a p.m. game. I get it. You get the game out of the way. You don't have to wait all day, and then there's the possibility that something happens, and then before kickoff they cancel it, right, because of COVID. I mean, so that could happen. That is absolutely a possibility if the NCAA or the SEC felt like it was a danger and that, they could be held liable, which that's already a fear. But so I get it. I'm on the fence about how I feel about it being an 11 a.m. kickoff, but we should be used to those, right? Like that's all we've had for the last couple of years because Arkansas has been so bad. They've been so terrible. And it's not like LSU's turning heads this year. They are really bad. So Franks, if he's 100%, and I mean, we had someone in chat saying he's not playing tomorrow. Again, I don't know where they heard that because I've not heard that. Not saying that I am the all-knowing because I'm really not. Like I have a couple of reliable individuals that can feed me some pretty good information. Though that was not a name that came up for discussion about them not playing. So you never know with the message board stuff, though. I tell you guys, take the stuff you hear from message boards, unless it's coming from someone like Curtis Wilkerson, right? Danny West, Trey Biddy, Nikki Chavanel, Hutchinson, those people over at Hogbeat. If they're saying it, it's got some credibility behind it. But if you're just seeing random posters on these boards, take it with a grain of salt. Arky56, if you're in chat, God. We have that conversation at least once a week, something that he reads off of. That's my dad, by the way. Arky56 is my pops. Once a week about something he reads off a message board. I'm like, Dad, chill out. It's probably not true. Some rando on a board. Arkansas should win if Pittman was acting when he was talking, if he's kind of maybe over or stretching the truth about how thin they are. I don't know if that's a tactic. He doesn't strike me as the kind of guy to do that for those reasons, but he has been really sneaky this year about injuries. Of course, COVID, you've got some other issues. You can't just come out and say who's got it and whatnot. So I don't really know. I don't want to say I don't believe Sam Pittman, but if he is stretching the truth and they're fine and they have more than enough depth along the line of scrimmage, Franks is obviously 100%. And Boyd seems to be somewhat true. There seems to be some truth behind Rakeem Boyd not playing. But again, take that even with a grain of salt because I'm not really sure if that's 100% accurate. But if you're 100% there, right, if your guys outside Devion Warren, if Knox could step up, that's the question for me. On offense, what do you do in Devion Warren's place? Look, it's nice to have Knox as far as his potential. We haven't seen it kind of happy. Or year 2, his sophomore slump has been pretty bad. It's nice to have that someone who's, this guy was highly recruited. He's just having a bad year. Oh, and then there's, Morris. There's also, you've got Darren Turner. You have some other options there, but none of them are Devion Warren. None of them have the speed and agility that he has. The only guy that comes to mind, in my opinion, is T.J. Hammonds. Is T.J. Hammonds the guy that they use? I don't know. I don't think so because it seems like they only want to use him for end arounds and double reverses and goofy trick plays. I don't know. And to me, it's a lot more concerning that you have things going on. I'm more concerned with what's going on with the defensive line than I am who's going to fill in for Devion Warren. LSU's defense is awful. Their pass defense, their passing defense. It's not the second worst in the SEC West. It's not the second worst pass defense in the SEC. It's the second worst pass defense in all of college football. The numbers these guys are giving up, it's just astounding. They are awful. And that's with Derek Stingley in their secondary, who's someone who's talked about as a high draft pick potentially one of these days. And LSU is favored. According to the Football Power Index, they are favored at 68%, almost 69%. I don't know. That thing needs to be 50-50 because nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, this is the toughest game all year. The spread right now at 1.5. it's kind of bounced around a little bit. It started off with Arkansas in the lead, then it switched over to LSU. LSU 2-3, but their secondary is atrocious. They give up almost 480 yards a game. Pass defense, they give up almost right at 335 yards a game. Their run defense is 40 yards less per game than Arkansas's. Arkansas's run defense is bad. But they're at 143 per game to Arkansas's 183 rushing yards allowed. Arkansas gives up 245 yards per game through the air at 428 total yards of offense given up. Their offense has been good, but that's because of Brennan, who's out. Brennan's not playing. They're going to have to rely – LSU's going to have to rely on a backup there. You've already got the mass exodus that this team had to deal with on top of the 4 players that opted out for the year. It looks like the backup, TJ Finley, is going to be the guy who hasn't exactly blown anybody away, but it's not like his yardage is that bad. Listen, he's got 408 yards on 30 completions this year. 30 completions out of 45 attempts, 408 yards, almost 67% pass completion ratio with 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. They've given up 13 sacks. They get a lot of sacks on defense. They give up a lot of sacks on offense. TJ Finley, should he be a concern? There's some potential there when you have 408 yards of passing yards on just 30 completions. That's pretty good. What I think LSU does, because Arkansas's run defense is so bad, they've got a couple of guys that average right around 5 yards a carry. That's John Emery and Tyrion Davis-Price. And both these guys, between them, they have 4 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns apiece. They have, again, not exactly a great year. I think they've had, just based on what I could dig up on from their fans on their boards, their run blocking has been at times as bad as their pass blocking. They have some issues up there creating gaps and holes to run through. But when they do, Emery and Davis-Price are capable of picking up a decent amount of yardage. Look, neither one of these guys, the longest run from line of scrimmage from Emery this year is 17 yards. For Davis-Price, who's more, I guess, is more of their big bang guy, is at 35 yards. It's his longest run from the line of scrimmage. So I think what LSU does, I think they're going to run the ball. I think they're just going to run it down your throat. What everybody has figured out against Arkansas, let's run the ball, and then we're gonna do things off play action. And I think that's exactly, you saw what Florida did. I think that's exactly the blueprint to beat Arkansas's defense. And now you're talking about being thin up front on the defensive line. If that's true, guys, I don't know that I'd pick Arkansas. I don't know that I would pick them to cover the spread. If you really are that thin and you're going to have to move bodies around, you're going to have to move guys that aren't ready or they're supposed to play outside in the defensive end spot and you've got them moved inside, or you're trying to stack the box. Well, Finley, look, again, we talked about it. His average yardage per completion is higher than that of Brennan at 9 yards. I think he's capable of doing some things through the air, and this offense is going to allow them. They took a little bit of a step backwards, but that's because their guys, first-round draft pick playing for the Bengals. So they took a little bit, and that's why. But the offense, despite the fact that they have a different passing coordinator, they're still pretty productive on offense. That's still going to be an issue. Defensively, they've had all this time to prepare. That's my concern for this game and why I would say my pick I think all the picks, all the Hog Talk guys, anybody making a prediction on this, I don't think we really have any idea what happens. We really don't anyways. That's why they're projections, they're fun, or predictions rather. That's why they're predictions, they're fun. But this is one that I really have no idea what we're in for. If LSU's had all that extra time, that's concerning. Their star player on offense, though, this year has been Terrence Marshall. This guy, keep in mind, they've played 5 games. 31 catches, 540 yards, 9 receiving touchdowns. So, and then they've got a tight end that they like to check down to, Gilbert, who's got 22 catches. And as far as I know, these guys are all healthy, all these names that I've mentioned. And it may not be Finley. I don't know. They could go with Max Johnson. LSU hasn't been super open either about what's going on with them. With injuries and what other kind of changes they've made. But TJ Finley, I believe, is projected to be the guy. Johnson's had a few, he's had less snaps or less pass attempts this year at 24 attempts to Finley's 45. So What's the answer? Do you run? Maybe you get to. Can you afford, if you're thin up front, can you afford to run the 4-2-5 like Odom wants to do most of the year or tries to do? And how often do we see him go to the 3 front? Every game he goes to the 3 front. He runs primarily like a quarter defense. You got 3 guys, and then, of course, you've got one more linebacker instead of just the lone backer. But, you're going to have Morgan, bumper pull on the field at all times, and then you're going to have to try your best to rotate. Again, if it's true your defensive line is thin, you're going to have to rotate with who? I'm concerned about that. And I feel like now if LSU, if they're paying any attention, they're pinning their ears back. Oh, you mean a run defense that's one of the worst in the SEC is thin up front? And they've had a linebacker playing with injuries and Morgan. Like, okay, I like our odds. Not that stops Morgan. Morgan's been accepted. Bumper pool, Jalen Catalan. How do you defend these guys? You can't. Can you afford to go with the 4-2-5? Can you afford to run 4 defensive linemen? Or do you try something a little bit different, like a 3-4 base defense or something? Do you spice things up this week? Maybe they've been preparing. I don't know. I'm going to give Odom the benefit of the doubt, though. That's what I think happens. I think LSU comes out and they're going to try and run the ball down your throat. So what do you guys think? What do you think happens, and how do you expect Arkansas to react, and who do you have winning this weekend? Let me get caught up on chat. Oh, my goodness. Chat is – okay. Mark Douglas. What's up, Mark? Hope you're doing well. With everyone eligible to return next year, I'd hold off on signing early. Never know if your position will be too heavy if the seniors return. Wait to see how it all fleshes out. I think they ought to I think they need to get rid of early signing period permanently, if you want my opinion. And then I think that February signing, the first week of February, what it normally is every year, you need to push it back. You need to push it back to, I don't know, just give these kids more time to think about it. There's a lot. This is going to be we thought last year was an unorthodox offseason. This year could be as bad or worse. At least you have an idea of what's going to happen, though, right? Now, how about a multi-overtime win? Uh-oh. Scrolling on up here. Boyd's first step this year seems slower. It does. He doesn't have that burst. He's had one game this year where he looked like he was back, and then since then he's not. I don't know. It reminds me, it's so similar to the Isaiah Joe stuff, right? We were wondering what was going on with Joe, then we found out, he needed some surgery. He needed to get he needed to get healed up and some time to rest. And then he came back, and he still lost games when he came back, but you could see he was getting into rhythm over the course of several games, and we got Isaiah Joe back to some extent. I don't know that we ever got the Isaiah Joe that we had all the way up to the midpoint of the season, but we started to see him return. And I think that's what's going on with Rakeem. Maybe for his own health, he sits out the rest of the year. I don't know. There's something going on. He doesn't look the same, and I agree with you. His first step does not seem as fast. He doesn't seem as quick. He made a nice little run there last week where he stepped to the side and bolted in. Like, we see little flashes of it, and then not really much after that. Ladyback should and will win SEC championship, just like the track and field. Women's team is going to be lit. They're top 15 in the country. They're for real, y'all. They are for real. Did I read that? Yeah, I did read that. Okay, scroll down. Boop, 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 boop. Bamsey, Ty. They always pick the other team on 65-ish average over Hogs, and we're right once, maybe twice. I think they would learn. Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, that's usually, again, I think it's more like the confidence. Like we're 65% sure LSU wins this game. That's probably how that works. I know it's an algorithm and it's based on all these analytics and studies, or not studies, but like numbers and just based on what's happened so far throughout the year, averages and everything. Maybe coupled with opinions from ESPN. I don't know. I don't know how that's all factored in, but I don't even know that I want to debate it because, like I said, my confidence is a 1 with what I picked. I don't have a lot of confidence in my pick. Alex says Hogs 42 and the Tigers 17. Wow. Okay, I'd take that, obviously. Been watching War Machine's highlights this week. I say a Hog classic. But if the coaches can't recruit, then what's the point of the early signing period? Well, I mean, you're not wrong. With Warren out, does this force Franks to trust Knox again and throw him the ball? I don't know. I mean, you have to create that has to be organic, right? Like Knox has had drops. He's had key drops this year. He's dropped a ball in the end zone. He's dropped first down throws, at least one. I don't even know if it's fully being the case. Him not having confidence. I just wonder if Knox doesn't like the offense, or I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with Knox. It's been. Look, I think everyone, when we step back, hopefully this was just a sophomore slump, and he comes back next year. Technically, I mean, he's got as much time as if they redshirted him this year. So, hopefully he comes back, doesn't transfer. I mean, Stepp is a hell of a receivers coach. I tweeted out about what he's done is just from a recruiting angle this year. Allow yourself to be coached and developed, be coachable, and I think he's capable of God knows what at Arkansas. I don't want to see him walk away, and that's kind of my concern as he walks away, he goes somewhere, and he gets shuffled around the depth chart, and he loses out. And that could happen here too, I agree, but at least here, you're familiar with your surroundings. You've had a year to learn the offense, and maybe next year he's able to come back and get something done. Jenna says 21-17. 21-17 who, Jenna? Come on, Miss Mays. 21. I'm sure you're picking the Hogs, though. I know you. You're a hog fanatic. I'll give you a second to respond. I hope that he does. I hope he's able to bounce back. It'd be great if there was ever an opportunity, like Kyle said on the podcast, if there was ever a week to do it. Why not against the worst secondary you've played in a decade? They're atrocious in their pass defense. Okay, I see what you're saying. Hog Classic, win it by stopping the last drive. Ooh. We need a good game. You've got the miracle on Markham. We need a good game in Fayetteville, even if it is LSU and they're as bad as they are this year. I wouldn't have a problem with a double overtime win or triple overtime or something crazy. We need that moment. Of course, you're not going to have very many people in the stands. J-Hog. I don't know why that got held for review. J-Hog says, everyone watching, please like the video for Ty. Support your boy. Hogs 26, LSU 17. Thank you, J-Hog. I appreciate that. Hey, we're at 25 likes. That's not bad. I'd like to see us break 40. I'd love to see us break 40. Share the content if you guys would. That'd be great. Share it across social media. Make sure you tag me, too. Crazy Hog says 31-27. Hogs, late touchdown. Yes, I always teach my kids the hog call every year. Jenna, I try with Addie and Ellie, and they'll come in and like if the Rams happen to be on TV, they'll go Razorbacks, and I'm like no baby, but we're blue. No, we're red, and this is NFL. And so they're trying. I'm doing my best. Pull Tulsa's win last night. I didn't see it. I heard something crazy happened, but I didn't get a chance to see it. What happened to Josh Oglesby? I was really looking forward to seeing him play. Mr. Bloodline, I'm ready. I'm ready for the Franks Burke Smith show. Could be a case tomorrow. I'm telling you. Now, again, the other concern is they've had all this time to prepare, to heal up. How much does that play a factor, right? Look at that, bumped up to 32. Good job. Look at that. Like in a minute, you guys are rock stars. Maybe 2 minutes. Because there's a little bit of a delay. There's like a 30-second delay. If we wink at someone, please edit that speech from Coach O saying the Hogs haven't been anyone significant, haven't beaten anyone. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he said that last year, and he wasn't wrong. What a butthole for saying that though. Pick 6 in second overtime. Well. Depending on the circumstances, an interception could win the game. You were wondering, Ty. I am. Oh, okay. You're smoking an apple pie moonshine, marinated pork loin, and a Jack Daniels. Oh my God. Oh, dude. And I haven't had dinner yet. We're eating tacos tonight, but what you're having sounds far better. Oh, my goodness. You're smoking an apple pie moonshine. What? Really? Apple pie moonshine, marinated pork loin, and a Jack Daniels. Okay. I'm dyslexic. Sometimes these words get flipped around on me. That's awesome. I don't know if I really am dyslexic, but I probably should go figure out if I am, because these words, man, they're so small and they flip around. And then if I wear my it's weird. And then I wear my glasses and I get a headache from trying to read the screen. My niece recently turned 1. The mom is a Hog fan and the dad is a Bama fan. Oh, I'm doing my best to keep her from the dark side. 34-17 says Justin Potts. I have a friend of mine who's he's married into an Oklahoma State family, and they're good people. They are. My buddy, he's a good friend of mine. We go back like 20 years. He's a good dude. They are diehard Oklahoma State fans. So when we go over there for game day, in the years past, we'll have one TV on downstairs, Oklahoma State, and then the guys, we're all upstairs watching the Razorbacks. A lot easier to watch Oklahoma State games the past few years. My boys are 5-6. This is the first year they have both got the I think that you meant hog call. It says Hawaii call down pat. It's hard. I'm borderline dyslexic. I'm telling you, it's even worse because trying to read the print in these letters, they just flip on you, and it's just crazy. I don't know that I'm not clinical. I'm not diagnosed dyslexic, but maybe I should be. If Boyd is out, who will be behind Smith? Johnson is probably your likely scenario, although maybe TJ Hammonds. I mean, TJ Hammonds hasn't had many carries just strictly out of the backfield, right? Like it's been these goofy special trick plays, end arounds. We've seen him do well getting the ball out of the backfield, like years past. I would love to see him get more involved in this offense. It's not his fault. Those trick plays were terrible. Ty lights the cigar by 145. LSU 24, Arkansas 41. Man, I hope y'all are right. I've been in those stands since I was a baby. Fam had season tickets up at the top, and I remember dropping popcorn down onto people walking down Razorback Road. Yeah, we used to sit up there too when I was a kid. Yeah. My very first game was Citadel. No lie. If RQ56 was in here, he'd tell you about it. It was my very first game. Am I a curse? No, because look, there was a while there where I was going to all the games, and those are the games Arkansas was winning. And when I was at home, they were losing those games. So maybe the curse was lifted. They should have plays with two backs in and lure the run for a deep pass. I've said before, I wish we could have seen Boyd and Traylon in the backfield at the same time. We've seen them like Burks. They'll put Burks back there, and then he'll go in motion, and then they'll throw a little behind the line of scrimmage dump off throw to him and let him do something. We'll probably see a little bit of that, I'm sure. Ty, at this point, if Boyd is not healthy, does he need to come back to improve his draft stock? Yes, he does, because he has hurt himself tremendously this year. I mean, he just has. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. He's hurt his draft stock. I don't know that you watch film this year if you're in the front office or if you're a coach or manager, owner, whatever. I don't know that you're watching that film and going, yeah. I mean, coming into the year, he was a draft pick, and we've only had one game this year where we felt like, oh, there he is, he's back. I even had a live stream that I tagged. Boyd's back. Turned out to not be true. Maybe I am cursed. I remember watching the 94 chip on the screen at Bud Walton right after it opened. Yeah, I was at good Lord. I was at my friend Sean's house, riding my bike back and forth between Sean, good friend of mine, his house, and then up to my we lived 6 houses down the road from each other, over by Baum Stadium, as a matter of fact. If you look out past right field, that's the neighborhood I grew up in. up on the hill. You'll just see a hill. That's the neighborhood I grew up in, over off Custer. We would ride our bikes back and forth, going crazy, watching the game. I'll never forget that. That's a great Razorback memory, and I hope to have more of those. Of course, I'm too old and fat and to be riding any bikes up and down a road. Maybe I should be, though. Boyd should have went pro. I agree. I think at this point, based on what we've seen this year, he should have, because he hurt himself. He needs to come back. I think he may have lowered his stock due to injury and or mystery. I agree 100%, Mr. Bloodline. My first game was SMU. Wow, Pony Express, 1982. Dickerson and yeah, it's a good documentary, by the way, on the Pony Express. I don't know my first game, but my first one I remember is LSU 2010. Good times, right? Good times. Hey, look at that. We just broke. Can we get to 40 likes? We got 3 more to go. If you haven't liked, we'll get to 40. How long have we been streaming? Oh my gosh, 1 hour. This could be best for Boyd. He can get healed and hopefully come back better. I agree. If he went pro, how could he get healthy? I had an undefeated streak at Hog games until Chad. Ooh. Yeah, my first game was Citadel. I don't remember it very well. I was how old? What year was that? 90, 91, 92? Jack Crow, and he was fired. I don't remember anything from that game. Just everyone was pissed. That's what I remember. Nice. I grew up on Mount Sequoia. Oh, yeah, Mount Sequoia. And we could hear the football crowd from the – yeah, I bet so. My first game was the Cotton Bowl from 2012. That was an awesome game. And Michael Simmons says, I hate LSU. Me and you both, buddy. 2 more likes to go. We're getting to 40. I'm not ending this stream until I get to 40 likes. I'll sit here. I don't have a cigar to smoke. Oh, I got kicked out of the room for that, though. I have to smoke my cigars in the garage. True story. 2 more likes. We can do it. 2 more likes. First was Hogs versus TCU in Southwest Conference. Okay. 06 Bama game. Oh, yeah, the missed field goals. I mean, I don't blame her. 39 likes, 1 away. My first Hogs game was in Fayetteville when they played Tulsa. And I got to see Steve Atwater hit some people. Is Jalen Catalon – oh, you said 40. I see 39 on my end. You guys are ahead of me. Is Jalen Catalon the next Atwater? I mean, he's a freshman, and he lays the lumber. There it is, 40. Get your hype. Catalon's amazing. He'll knock you out. He's everywhere. Pretty good cover guy. He's got, man, I haven't been this excited for safety in a long time. Since they moved Tony Bua to safety. You know, who was, I always forget that. You've had a few guys come along, and as they were juniors and seniors, they panned out to be pretty decent, right? But Catalon has been a freaking, I mean, he's played at a level that I didn't think was possible from a freshman at Arkansas. Yeah, he's a redshirt freshman, but still, like, it's just great to see. And we get people in here asking, why did we redshirt him a year ago? Probably because he needed to be redshirted, right? I mean, probably because he needed to be. And look at the year he's having. I'm thankful that he was redshirted. Not that it really matters, because we're going to get this year back anyways. First game in person was the Tennessee 06 timeouts in 02 was bonkers. Yeah. Is Catalon the best safety in the SEC? I would like to know who's better. Who's playing better? That's what I would like to know. All right, we are at the 1 hour mark. Look at that. 40 likes in an hour. You guys are rock stars. Be sure, check out the links down below. I didn't give you guys my prediction, did I? What I say it was 37-29. That's my prediction. Again, my confidence in that is really low. This could be, again, God only knows. This could be a high-scoring game. I don't know. I don't know what happens tomorrow. I'm, going to hold my breath, I guess, or maybe I shouldn't. Ed Orgeron, I want to beat him so bad. I want to beat LSU. I want to beat Mizzou more. I think I've said that here before. I don't like the fact that Mizzou's had the success against Arkansas like they've had. That's a bunch of bull crap. That needs to come to an end. And, yeah, Mizzou, Drinkowitz, that dork. We need to beat that nerd. Nerds. It's a good movie. Revenge of the Nerds. Good movie from the 80s. It's a classic. All right. Yeah. Check out all the links provided for you down below. There is, again, Hog Talk Podcast. You can get caught up on all those episodes. That link is provided. The PT and Patreon, this bad boy right here, right? Thomas Nunley, Jenna, they have joined. I think we're up to like 15 Patreon supporters, I think. Maybe 14, 15. Anyways, it's awesome. I love each and every one of you. I did not add your names to the list, though, Jenna. I'm sorry. Thomas, I'll correct that. I will get that corrected before the post game. I will have the Facebook halftime show over on Arkansas Hog Talk on Facebook. Halftime show there. Post game will be here. Thank God we got a game. That's for me. That's like we got a game. Yeah, we're gonna be thin. We're gonna be thin. Maybe they can battle through it. I don't know. Hey, Drinkowitz is on schedule to win the Sun Belt Conference this season. Do you remember that Mizzou football player that talked crap about the Hogs, then we lost? This is a linebacker, wasn't it? Wasn't that the linebacker? Peace, Ty. Have a good... Hey, yeah, you too. You too. Enjoy those kiddos. I'll have some brisket. Golly. Join our Discord. Yeah, let me post that for you really quick. I want to get some more peeps in our Discord. If you don't know what it is, look, it's basically... It's better than a message board because it's live, and there's different channels you can join. Why can't I? There we go. Create the invite link. I don't like this part, though. You have to go in and no limit, blah, 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 generate new link, copy. Here we go. I'm going to paste this bad boy to you guys. So if you want to come be a part of that, there's that link for you. All right? Come join. It's a great community. I appreciate the likes tonight. I appreciate you guys being here. The Patreon supporters, you guys are superstars. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. You guys be safe. Woo Pig Suey.